Good morning, students. I hope all of you are safe and healthy at your home. Students, before we begin our lesson, I would like to inform you that the ICSC Council has reduced your syllabus in History Civics. Kindly download the syllabus and strictly follow it while preparing your lesson. The lessons which we have already done, the scope of those lessons have also been cut short. Today we will study fourth lesson of history, the Mauryan Empire. Before we begin the lesson, let us look at the scope of this lesson. We have to study sources, Arthashastra, Indica, Ashokan edicts, Sachi Stupa, administration of Chandragupta Maurya and Ashoka's thumb. The Mauryan Empire, ruled by the Mauryan dynasty, was a huge and very powerful empire in ancient India. The Mauryan Empire was founded by Chandragupta Maurya in 322 BC. There are many sources through which we get the information regarding the Mauryan Empire, but we have to focus on only two literary and two archaeological sources. Literary sources, Megasthenes' account. Megasthenes was a great Greek historian and Seleucus Nicator's ambassador in the court of Chandragupta Maurya for about 5 years. He wrote a book named Indica, in which he has given a detailed account of Mauryan administration and Indian society. Kautilya's Arthashastra. Kautilya, also known as Chanakya, was chief guide and advisor of Chandragupta Maurya. Kautilya's Arthashastra throws a great deal of light on the Mauryan period, as Kautilya was directly connected with the Mauryan government. His books gives us lot of information regarding the political condition of India during the Mauryan period and the Mauryan administration. Arthashastra is a unique book on the subject of politics and art of government in the literature of ancient India. According to Winternitz, it is a unique work on the subject of administration, trade and commerce, and war and peace in the whole range of the Indian literature. This book gives us a lot of information about the art of government. It is divided into 15 parts. Each part deals with different aspect of art of government. The archaeological sources. Edicts of Ashoka. An edict is a decree or order issued by a king. The edicts of Ashoka is a very important source of Mauryan history. These edicts are inscribed on rocks and pillars all through the country. There are about 14 rock edicts, 7 pillar edicts, and there are a number of minor rock edicts also. These edicts gives us information about the life and ideals of Ashoka in particular, and also about the history of the Mauryans in general. Sachi Stupa. A stupa represents the spiritual body of the Buddha, containing his relics such as hair, teeth, or bone. A casket containing these relics is placed at the base of the stupa. Sachi Stupa was built about 3rd century BCE by Ashoka at Sachi near Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh. It has 4 gateways in 4 directions. These gateways have carved panels depicting events from the life of Buddha and some from Jatak tales. The Mauryan Administration. Most of our knowledge about the Mauryan period and its administration is derived from the account written by the Greek ambassador Megasthenes, who remained at the court of Chandragupta for 5 years. In his book Indica, he has given a detailed account of the administration of the Mauryan period. The other source of knowledge is a book written by Chandragupta's minister Chanakya or Kautilya, that is Arthashastra. Central government. The Mauryan ruler was no doubt an autocrat, that is all powerful, but he looked after the welfare of the people. The king was the highest authority of the state. He was, however, assisted by a council of ministers known as Mantri Parishad. The ministers were wise and loyal to the king. Each minister was individually responsible for his department. Beside these ministers, there were other officers also who looked after their respective duties. They were Adhyaksh, that is superintendents, Amatyas, executive officers, Mahamantryas, governors, Pradekshas, revenue officers, Rajukas, judicial officers, and Yuktas, treasury officers. Provincial government. The whole empire was divided into 4 provinces. They were Magad, Taxila, Ujjain, and Swangiri. The administration of the district was looked after by Satanaks and that of the villages by the village headmen known as Gramikas or Gramnis. Revenue system. Land revenue was the chief source of income. It varied from 1/4 to 1/6 of the total produce. Taxes were also collected from mines, forest, cattle, toll tax, and professional taxes. The money was usually spent on public work like roads, hospitals, irrigations, etc., and to pay the salaries of the officers and to maintain a large army. Military administration. Chandragupta kept a huge army of 6 lakh infantry, 30,000 cavalry, 9,000 elephants, 8,000 chariots. It was necessary to maintain such a huge army because the empire was also very huge. Beside this, there was also efficient system of spices all over the empire and even in the neighboring states. These spies kept the emperor informed about all the important matters. Civic administration of Patliputra. Megasthenes also tell us about the city of Patliputra. Patliputra was the capital of a Mauryan Empire. It was a beautiful city surrounded by deep moat and high walls. All the houses, including the king's palace, were made of wood. The king's palace was magnificent and he lived in luxury. The administration of the city was looked after by a committees of 30 members. These members were divided into 6 boards. The first board was concerned with industries and arts. The second board looked after the needs of the foreigners. The third board recorded the birth and deaths. The fourth board regulated the trade and commerce and checked weights and measures. The fifth board ensured the quality of the manufactured goods. The sixth board collected taxes on sold goods at the rate of 10% of their price. This committee also took steps to ensure health and sanitation, built hospitals, roads, parks, schools, and temples. Ashoka's administration and change in its character. Ashoka's administration was also much like his father and grandfather, but in spirit there was some change. Now great stress was paid on people's welfare. He built number of roads and planted trees on both sides. He had various rest houses built for the travelers. He had various wells dug for the welfare of the people. He opened a large number of hospitals, both for men and animals. He began to treat his subjects like his own children. At all times, he was ever ready for the service of the people. Ashoka also appointed a new class of officers known as Dham Mahamantras. Their main duty was to raise the morale of the people and also to supervise the actions of the state officials. He had instructed his officials to make the life of the citizens happy and prosperous. Ashoka himself undertook tours to see that his orders were fully obeyed. Ashoka adopted the policy of religious tolerance. His was an ideal system of administration which brought peace and made the people happy and prosperous. Ashoka's dharma or dharma. Though Ashoka himself followed Buddhism, he preached only good things of human conduct. His Dham, which is the Prakrit form of the Sanskrit word dharma, was not dogmatic but a set of moral principles. Main principles of Ashoka's Dham. First, respect of elders. In one of his edicts, Ashoka says obedience must be tendered to the father and the mother. In the same way, the student must show respect to the teacher. Proper treatment of youngsters. Elders, superiors, and officials should be polite and kind to their youngsters, inferiors, and subordinates. Third, ahimsa. Ashoka not only forbade the slaughter of animals but himself gave up hunting and flesh eating. Tolerance. In one of his edicts, Ashoka says there should not be honor to one's own sect or condemnation of another sect. Other sects should also be honored. Fullness. A man should speak the truth at all times. It is better than various religious ceremonies. Charity. One should give education to the illiterate, money to the poor, and knowledge of the Dham to everyone. Pure life. Ashoka favored a pure and simple life. Anger, cruelty, pride, and jealousy are great sins. Thus, Ashoka's Dham consisted of principles which were common to all religions. Ashoka was a great king and he devoted all his time, energy, and resources for the spread of Buddhism in and outside country.